All sports talk shows are the same, right?
I am bothered by everything.
You gotta go back to football school.
The goal of this guy, it's just immeasurable.
Wrong. In a world filled with talking heads more interested in their own celebrity than actually knowing the sports world, it's hard to find the people who really care about sports first. Look no further. Wire to Wire has it all covered. These guys have the knowledge and the cred to back up their opinions. No hot takes to get attention, just straight up opinions. Know anyone else who correctly called the 2020 World Series and March Madness? How about 70% on the NFL and NCAA football last year? You don't. Bottom line, these guys know their shit. They aren't doing it for attention, they're doing it for passion. Wire to Wire, live every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, only on Toxic Radio and wherever you find podcasts. You know what all the cool kids are doing these days? Listening to podcasts. And what does Toxic Radio have? Podcasts, duh.
Just as I thought.
Go to toxicradio.net and check out our weekly schedule for the lineup of great shows. Miss any of them live? No worries.
Thank God, dude.
We're on all the top podcast platforms, or just find them at toxicradio.net or on the free app. The choice is yours. Be cool or not.
We're gonna be cool.
Toxic Radio. Get the podcasts.
Get infected.
Does the real world seem unsatisfying?
It's boring, but it's part of my life.
Well, time to level up and reboot reality. Join Toxic Mike and Demonoid as they explore the ever-evolving world of virtual reality and everything it has to offer. Whether you're just starting out or you've been there from the beginning, Reboot Reality will introduce, educate, and guide you to the best in VR. Find it wherever you get podcasts at toxicradio.net or on the free Toxic Radio app. Reboot Reality. Log in and get immersed.
Hungry for Hope Nation. I am your host, Donnie Hart, and I am live from Toxic Radio Studio. Tonight on Hungry for Hope podcast, I am joined by my so wonderful, so amazing, so spectacular,
so smart,
so
intelligent, so beautiful
co-host, Angela.
Hello, everyone.
Angela, how you doing?
I'm good. Feeling good today. So, thank goodness.
Feeling good. You got done round 7 of chemo last Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just starting to feel a little bit better. So, of course, right. I went back to the gym on Monday, Tuesday. Of course, I'm not there tonight, but I'm sure by the time I'm feeling really, really good, it's going to be time for chemo again. So, otherwise, feeling good. Woke up this morning. Amen.
Awesome. And we are joined to my right live in studio, Glassboro's own, South Jersey's own. He can cook. You might know him when he was the chef back in the day, but he is the founder of Paws Healing Heroes. He was featured on Rachel Ray for all the awesome stuff he does for veterans. We have Mark Eberle.
What up? I'm just happy to have clean underwear on today.
Mark, how we doing?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. Happy to be in your studio once again.
This is fourth time in the studio, at least.
Setting the
third
record.
time on the show.
Next is Saturday Night Live, I hope. We'll see.
You and me both. And Deadliest Catch, because my application is in.
You're that person? You gotta one-up me every time?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
One up you every time.
Well, no, not really. I'm just saying I'm funny.
Okay.
She's just saying she's funny. We had a Deadliest Catch guest on a couple weeks ago, and he was entertaining. People could check that out at it's a under episode Deadliest Catch on Hungry for Hope on Apple Podcast, iHeart, all that good stuff. But anyway, we are also joined. She is the host of Yes, I Am the Veteran podcast. She is joining us from San Antonio, Texas. We got Brandi Pett.
Hey guys.
Brandi, how you doing?
Good. Almost got knocked out trying to set up all this background really quickly because I'm in my closet, so,
You can come out of the closet.
You're coming out of the closet? What's going on?
Sweet. Everyone's gonna, oh, man. Forget it.
This is going to be a first. You're coming out of the closet on the show. Whatever we can do, I don't care.
She set up the Christmas wrapping behind her really quick. You're ready to go.
There's
Podcast
no
ready.
point.
Y'all don't even know I'm a freak.
Brandi, we're so happy to have you. Me and Mark, you've been on the podcast before. Me and Mark filmed an episode of your podcast. Yes, I Am the Veteran. That's on all the big platforms. People can follow that on Instagram, all that good stuff. Love your show. I know you just moved to a new network. Where are you at now?
Yep. So we are now at Veteran Trash Talk, and so we are fortunate that our show in its entirety did move, and we are able to give the same information out to our veteran community. That way, we can try to get out really information that a lot of veterans don't know about.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I know you and Angela just met. If Angela wants to say hi again.
Hey, hello again. Congratulations on coming out of the closet.
I go into the closet. This is my crafting.
So
closet.
we're going in. Yes. It's 2022. Shit, you might as well go back in.
She's a reverse lesbian. She goes back in.
It's like you get so tired of everything out there, you're just like, you know what? Just let me
back
just
in.
figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Figure it out myself.
Well, we're so happy to have both of you guys on the show. You guys both do amazing stuff with veterans, which is a huge thing for me. It's real close to my heart. We've had other veterans on other organizations. I'm the son of a Army veteran, my mother, and we had Mark on all the time. Mark is local. I see all the great stuff Mark does in town. If anybody's not familiar with Mark's organization, Paws Healing Heroes, we've talked all about it. Mark, just give a big rundown, quick rundown, not a big,
I won't
whatever.
take all your time. Basically, we rescue dogs at shelters or foster programs, or we take donations of dogs. We take them, we train them as service dogs or emotional support for veterans with disabilities. Doesn't matter the disability, doesn't matter the time served, as long as you have a clean DD-214 and you're willing to take a service dog or an emotional support animal. No charge to the veteran at all. We pay for 100% of the training at Alpha and Omega Working Dogs.
So important shit.
Yeah, man.
So how long you been doing that, Mark, just to let everybody know?
6 years now. We have done 70 dogs, and we have 10 in training.
Wow.
Yeah, I am a hoe when it comes to raising money. If you give me $1, I will throw it right back into the nonprofit. No one takes a salary. Every dollar goes back in.
You know what they say. It's better to raise a dog than a pussy, right?
Well, I'm a pussy, but I got a big giant dog, so you mess with me, you got to mess with Batman.
You mentioned dog. You did bring your dog, Batman. Tell people about how you came about Batman. Tell us about Batman.
Batman's a rock star. When I first got my first service dog, he wasn't trained yet. I really didn't start bonding yet. I ran into a veteran that I was friends with, and he was pretty much going to be one of the 22 that take their own lives every day. So I told him to watch my dog for the weekend. And I just came up with some bullshit excuse that I'm leaving, take my dog for the weekend. And when I got back, he bought the dog a bed. He had bones. The dog was on the couch with him. I was like, you know what, brother, you need this dog more than I do. So then here comes Batman. He failed at the police academy. I don't know if he was going to go into a shelter or not. His humans divorced, so I took him to a veteran's house in Newark. We get there. He shits on the floor. So I don't know this dog for nothing. He poops on the floor. And the guy's like, I don't want this big-ass dog. He just shit on my floor. So I take him back. I introduce him to my wife, and he turns over on his back and does the T-Rex to her. Like, it's probably his, like, last bit of, please don't take me anywhere else. And that's it. 6 years later, Batman's been my man through thick and thin.
I'll tell you what, Batman is a big boy.
He's 110 pounds.
Big boy.
Yeah.
So Batman pulled an Amber?
I'm sorry?
So Batman pulled an Amber on the floor?
An Amber Heard.
I've been following that trial a little bit, but I don't. Batman pulled the 3 people the day before Veterans Day tried to steal him in Philly.
Get out.
Yeah, that's a mistake to try and steal a 100-pound German Shepherd, let alone a dog that's with I'm his boy. Like, one guy walked away, he was missing a piece of his shoulder, and the police came. You know, Philly cops love them, respect all the police out there. They didn't want to do any paperwork, so they're just like, "Are you good? Your dog's good? We'll call you. We'll call you if we find anything." I'm like, "Yo, bro, you need my phone number." And then I called on. I was like, "Oh."
Have they called you, Mark?
No, we're good. But I did drive around for a half an hour because I saw tunnel vision. I was like looking through a peek hole, and my PTSD was so bad from what happened. If I would have seen anybody that looked like those 3 dudes, I probably would have ran them over, and I'd have been in jail. But yeah, my dog is, I always make the joke. I'm going to do it again. You lock my dog and my wife in the trunk of my car for an hour. You open the trunk. Who's happy to see you?
The dog.
Absolutely every time. So
Definitely the wife.
that's what it comes down to. He's got my back. I got his.
So yeah, we were talking earlier about how these dogs can help. It's not just when you started; it was mostly veterans with PTSD, correct?
Absolutely.
But now you just kind of did a broader disability, right?
Yeah, because we were starting to help a lot of Vietnam guys, and a lot of those dudes, man, are missing limbs. They went through it. So we had to start doing support, getting up, helping them walk and things like that. So now I just morphed from PTSD to veterans with disabilities. That covers everybody. You don't have to be the tip of the spear or the combat veteran. You can be a cook. You can be a nurse. Everybody, we've all of our dicks are in the same sand, women included. And we've done a bunch of dogs for women as well. And you know what? Everybody needs a dog.
So if anybody's following or listening, they can follow you at pawshealingheroes.org. They can donate. You take no salary. You're all based on completely donations.
Yep.
So if they go, there's the website. If you're watching on video, you can see the website, pawshealingheroes.org.
The camera adds 10 pounds on the Rachel Ray show if you do click on the link. I'm just saying that out there in advance.
Yeah.
Scroll back and look at the size of my head. Jesus, God, that's like a gallon of milk in front of you right there.
That's a clip from the Rachel Ray show. Rachel Ray does tons of stuff for veterans.
It's like the State Puff Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
Big giant head, very small penis. So it's like, what the fuck? Thanks, Dad.
Oh shit!
But that's the one way to follow you.
Yeah,
you
man.
are on Facebook.
Yep, Paws Healing Heroes on Facebook. That's where you'll see all of our events and everything like that. And the pawshealingheroes.org is where the veterans go on. Fill out the application. If you got any issues with the application, like I would because I'm that person, inbox me or I'll give you my personal cell no matter where you're at, and I'll reach out to you. And if I can't help you, I will try to steer you down the right path to get some help.
Do you keep track of those individuals just to maintain how they're doing with the dog, things of that
After
nature?
a year, I kind of give up on them because now it's 70 dogs. I'm just like, what's your
it's
name
a
again?
lot.
What's I call every dog slobber chops that I don't know. And the veterans, I'm just like, I got my own personal fucked up names for people, and I'll tell you off air why I call these different people these names. But, after a while, it's like I'll see them out. I invite everybody to come to all of my outings that I have, all the veterans, just to show their dog off. And there'll be a couple veterans that kind of laxed on their dog. And so I'm just like, come on, man. You got a $4,000 to $11,000 dog given to you. If not, respect me, respect the dog. It was trained spot on when you got it. And then I'm thinking they probably let their kids just run around in shitty diapers for hours, too. That's probably the same person. All jokes aside, though. Yeah, we just...
So these donations, they're going to tell us the money you got to train these dogs. It's from like 4,000 up to like 12,000, I think.
4 to 11 is kind of the average. We're training one gentleman right now. His dog is going to probably be around 18,000 because his Humvee was blown up. He's got many issues, but you know what? He needs it, and he was just at Alpha and Omega Working Dogs, our trainer, just with his dog training. He thought he was just going to get it trained, and they introduced me to him, and I said, you don't have to pay for your training. And now this guy's breaking down in the parking lot with me. We're hugging and kissing, and, it's a lot. Every donation that comes in goes back into the training, into the equipment, into the vet bills in the beginning, if they need food in the beginning, but then everything. But Cross Keys Animal Hospital, shout out to Dr. Debbie in Williamstown. I went to high school with her. She was a year behind me. I consider her family because she does so much for the veteran community just with the dogs and gives me a huge discount on these dogs in the beginning, not every time, when she can, because she's a business. She has to pay her bills. And the love and support out there is but it's hard. It's a struggle.
Now we have Brandi. You're a veteran. You're on the other side of the country. Not the other side, but you're in the halfway point. You're out in Texas. Have you come across any programs like this? I know you're familiar with Mark. You had him on the show. Have you come across any other programs like this? Are you familiar with dogs helping veterans?
So there are programs, but all of the ones that I've come across, especially down here, there's actually very few. It's very rare to find a nonprofit that pays for 100% of the dog's training. Usually they'll pay a portion, and they have to pay X amount. For me, I was trying to find a nonprofit where it took care of all of it, or at least it was like a grant or something you could apply for even. And for us, we really did struggle with finding one for some time. So we were really thankful that Mark did come on, just because of the fact that the information, like, I mean, especially in Texas, like I've been asked so many times by veterans, do you know anybody that is that deals with service dogs, that you can recommend me to? And everyone that I've ever recommended, they always say, well, they weren't able to take care of me, or they were very busy, and it just didn't really seem like, they had the time for me, and they get discouraged. And it's frustrating because a lot of veterans, we're very proud. We don't like to ask for help, and we like to do more with less. So we already feel bad, even like putting ourselves out there that far where we would even look for that help. So when you start to like hear from some of the unfortunate, not as great veteran nonprofits where it's very much self-motivated and not so much about the veteran, it's very frustrating to see, because a lot of those veterans, they don't want to go to another nonprofit and say, hey, do you do it? They're basically, after that one bad experience, they're done. They won't go out. They'll try to do it themselves, or they'll try to train the dog themselves, and they don't really have great experience with it. And especially down here where SAMC's here, Wolford Hall is here, there's a massive facility where, they do air vacs here. And it's one of the three main points in the U.S. And I would love to see more nonprofits that are just strictly for service dogs that are fully funded, or at least it's some option for the veterans. And it's really something we don't see.
Yeah, because I know out there you specialize in helping all veterans, but you really specialize in helping homeless female veterans. I know you had the Final Salute Incorporated. You did a lot of stuff with them, and I know you told me before the numbers of how big that number of female homeless veterans, and so I'm sure you come across a lot of people who might be able to benefit from having a dog.
Yeah, well, not even that. I mean, a lot of veterans, like, they have issues with even getting their basic rating because they don't have a home, like a residence, where when they're filing their appeal or for their initial rating, when they're getting their CMP exams, their compensation exams, basically, right? When they're coming in, like, they're getting these letters, they're never getting these letters. So they never even have a rating, where they feel that they can afford it. And so they get really discouraged. And then for me, like, I like to advocate for, all veterans, especially for homeless veterans. But I mean, yes, women veterans, absolutely. I like to try to help them, just because of the fact that there is such a need, especially for, veteran women and their kids. Unfortunately, the VA does not cover women that are couch surfing at like a friend's as considered homeless. So the demographics really aren't there. But I also do work with Project Steel, which is a homeless veteran nonprofit as well, and they work for male as well as female veterans. I was actually just helping them this week. We were getting 2 veterans ready for their housing, and that way they could move in, but they didn't have anything. So we literally had to buy even the smallest things, and that adds up quite quickly, and so, donations are always needed from people that maybe wanted to donate to a veteran organization, for toiletries. If you don't think about it, but a homeless person, their first thing they may ask you for is socks. Just like basic needs. Like, you don't think about that stuff, when you have, AC and a car and transportation. But I mean, my friend, who is the founder of this nonprofit, Kiana Prowan, she was a homeless veteran, and she could tell you, you could walk 50 miles. That's why they're doing the Undie Rock in July here, because of the fact that, veterans that are homeless, or just homeless people in general, they walk a long ways, like 20 to 50 miles in a day, potentially. They're always going somewhere because, they can't stay anywhere for long periods of time, especially here in San Antonio, like everything is quite far. So like the homeless village is like the totally opposite side of town from like Audie Murphy VA. So you could be walking 20, 30, miles potentially to even get to that appointment. And that's, if you were not hampered in any way. And then plus it's plus 100-degree heat. So, that's really a complication, and people really don't think about that.
Yeah, and not to mention, I'm sure, veterans that some are in wheelchairs, some, are on crutches, canes, walkers. How are you going to walk all that way? in that kind of I mean, I'm sorry, it's just we were talking before the show about, you go, you serve your country, the things you see, the things you do, the things you hear, and then when you're done they just kind of drop you. It's just it's sickening. It's disheartening to me.
Like, I mean, the VA, I mean, they've come a long way from where they were, but there's definitely changes that could be made, especially to accommodate single women veterans or single veterans with children. Because, I mean, think about it, like, even to go to a VA appointment, especially in the era of COVID, for the last few years, you can't bring your kids in there with you.
Right.
So if you have a small child and you're homeless, like, I mean, KJ can tell you, there was times where she was homeless and she had a baby strapped to the front of her, and she's walking all these miles in the San Antonio heat, and that's dangerous for her and her child, because kids don't do well with heat like that. They get
no one does. My fat ass can't walk 10 miles, let alone 20.
I have like zero lungs. I can't breathe right now.
It's just unbelievable. I really opened my eyes when I started doing a lot of this homeless outreach, and we go to Kensington and stuff, and the one thing that stuck out was how many of these people were veterans. You guys talk about how hard it is now having socks and how cold your feet are. We were down there the one time in Kensington, and this guy, man, he was older, and his feet were so cold. It was right around Christmas time. His feet were so cold. We had socks. I watched Joey Enright, good friend of mine, local guy. He brought this guy in he had a big, nice, like $60,000 truck. He brought this guy who had no socks, brought him in his truck, turned on the heat, let this guy stay in his truck. His wallet's in there. Let this homeless guy off the street, stay in the truck because his feet were like frozen. And he put the heat on. We got the guy like a whole pack of socks, and you just don't think about things like that. And a lot of these people are people who gave the ultimate sacrifice. They were willing to sacrifice everything for this country,
for your freedom. I mean,
and we talk about alternative. I know you do a lot of stuff with like alternative methods to help people with PTSD. That's kind of what Mark's doing. The dogs are different than going to a doctor. I still know you need that, but I know you do some stuff with alternative ways to help veterans with PTSD and stuff, Brandi?
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, some of these veterans are homeless because of the fact that their PTSD is not managed, or those circumstances created by that not being managed led to them being homeless because they couldn't keep a job, because of the fact that they weren't ever rated appropriately. They didn't get those extra resources, or they weren't told about them. And that's the biggest issue that I'm seeing, is that it's just not out there. I do speak about alternative treatments to things. I actually have written several articles about different treatments as well. Not all the VAs do them. Like, for example, like ketamine infusion therapy. They do that. I believe it's 5 different VA centers throughout the U.S. But what they do is it's like an alternative treatment to like the stellate ganglion block, which is where they do the injection right here. And basically it inhibits like a lot of like triggering issues, and the veteran is able to live like a more uninterrupted life by their own triggers and flashbacks and things like that, and they're able to sleep more. I started doing the ketamine infusion therapy myself. That's why I wrote about these things, because it does need to be talked about, especially as a woman veteran. It's okay to not be okay. You don't have to be pageant perfect and Instagram perfect life, because it's not a realistic expectation. If you need help, it's okay to ask for it. So I wrote about, me doing it, and I took pictures of me doing it. My nurse thinks it's hilarious. He's basically my babysitter. His name is Adam. Imagine being like obscenely drunk inside of a VA. It's basically what it's like. You can't stand, you can't do anything. Like, they're wheeling you into the bathroom, because you have to go like a racehorse, unfortunately, the whole time, which is great. But you're attached to like all these leads, you've got everything hooked up. They give you Versed, which is a high-end anxietal as well. So this effect lasts like 6 to potentially 12 weeks for a veteran, depending on the severity of their PTSD. I also kind of tried to incorporate some theories of my own, like after like looking at like blue light therapy peer reviews and things like that. I convinced them to put a galaxy projector inside of the room, because there's like one room that they have everybody do their infusions. It's like 2 a day max, because the nurse has to like really watch you. And when you're in there, like, it was amazing, because it's a better experience, actually, weirdly enough.
Yeah, before the show, we were actually sitting down, we were talking about other other stuff, alternatives. We were talking with Mark about like even CBD. Mark, remember hemp? I know you have some thoughts on that, Mark.
Yeah, man. My wife and 2 partners are opening the Hemp Hippo in Pittman, hopefully the first week of July. And
So-
marijuana too is, you go to the VA now, they're not prescribing any kind of opioids anymore. So me, I've had 6 back surgeries. What are they giving me? Here's an Advil, buddy, go home, see you later. That's not
Vitamin M.
stopping the pain. So the Hemp Hippo is going to be a funky cafe with cappuccinos and milkshakes and some fun infused
Well,
donuts.
you talk about prescription pills. They have tore our communities apart. Even in my background, playing football, professional wrestling, I've seen it firsthand. I've dealt with it. We've seen friends die. We've seen communities torn apart. And this is a problem that affects a lot of veterans,
Everybody.
too. And even Angela dealing with her stage 4 lung cancer. Angela, you're probably familiar with a lot of alternative medicines, and they just made marijuana legal in New Jersey.
Well, yeah, and then of course I have my medical marijuana card, which I haven't even used yet, and
Do you need the card still in New Jersey, even though it's legal? You can just go to a dispensary, yeah?
well, before it even became recreational, I do, I have friends, so it's not like I have to go stand in line and so, but at least we know we're
Everybody's got a guy.
Yeah, I mean, come on, right? So,
Right.
but then if plastic bags are banned, what are they putting the weed in?
That's a
Jars.
Hemp,
Jars,
hemp bag?
Oh,
Yeah.
hemp bags. I don't know.
I'm sorry, it just came to me.
What about brown
My
paper
train
bags?
of thought
That'd
is
be
not
fun.
well.
Plastic bags are banned in New Jersey now.
I take
Sponge
CBD.
food.
I take CBD, and it helps with pain and anxiety, and it helps you sleep. And the untapped power, like everybody just thinks, oh, CBD pot. No, they're 2 separate
yeah.
things. They're just 2 separate, and you're not getting high. You're not running to 7-Eleven and eating all the nachos.
No,
and
it's
grabbing
not
some
like
hot
that
dog.
at all. Yeah.
So, there's so many different treatments out there, but back to the VA, not everybody's fucked up in there. There's some people that care about us, but they don't have the power to actually step up and do something.
Yes.
My next appointment at the VA is not till fucking September. I just got out of treatment there. They held me hostage for 4 days. Against my will, they thought I was suicidal. And then they're like, okay, we need to make you appointments. They had to have this big program put together for you. And then when I get out, they started canceling appointments. COVID this, COVID that.
COVID.
But COVID was already starting in the
2
rearview
years.
mirror.
We're 2 years in COVID.
It's insane. It's insane. The 5 of us, 4 of us, there's a guy looking at me through the glass here. The 5 of us, we can't solve all the problems. We can sit here and bitch about it until someone hears, and they need to fucking listen up because,
Yep.
you know what I mean? I did volunteer. I did sign my name on the line, but I didn't ask to come home and be this fucked up.
You talk about that. I've seen it firsthand when I was incarcerated. My one cellmate, I'm in maximum security. My cellmate, he was in there for killing somebody. He pled guilty to it. He's doing some time, but he couldn't get in. He was a veteran, great guy, man. Worked in the elevators union, and he came home with a lot of problems, and they put him on prescription pills, and he just couldn't get in. The VA just wasn't doing, in his words, not mine, just wasn't doing it for him. He couldn't get in. He couldn't get the proper help. He ended up breaking into a family member's house, killing somebody, all over prescription pills. This is a guy who was never arrested before this. And then he tried to kill himself after that. And that's finally when they got him help, brought him in the VA. Then they found out he killed somebody like the day before. So that didn't help. But I could only think this guy's story. He was a great guy. I was in there. They finally had him under, some medication
Is he
in a
still
safe
in?
environment.
Is he still in?
Yeah. He pled guilty. Tim Donnelly, great guy. He killed a great person, too. Horrible story. Horrible story. It was here in Franklinville, I think, or local. And but he was a veteran, served his country. And I can only think, that was just one of my, having the veteran mother and seeing all these people. There's just so many times where these people are the people, you got to be a special kind of person to, at 18, whatever age, to decide you're going to sacrifice your life to protect your country. And then you come back and we're not sacrificing anything to help these people sometimes. I'm sure you and Brandi saw this firsthand.
Yeah, man. It's like we're just a number and an amount that they send me each month, and that's pretty much it, And then they fucking fight you for that. Like, it's years and years and years
Yeah, I've
before you
heard
hit the
about
100%.
that. Mhm.
And I had to get my own lawyer just to prove my fucking case. So I had to pay somebody just to. Now all of a sudden I'm credible because I'm paying a lawyer. It's
You're
just
paying a lawyer.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
This country's ass backwards.
I get past all that nonsense. I get back to the dogs. The dogs are making differences. Donate to pawshealingheroes.org. Send me a check in the mail to Glassboro, P.O. Box 414-08028. Come out to one of my events, man. I throw comedy shows. I do all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm funny, and my dog is sexy.
Yes,
So-
he really is a
He's
handsome
sexy
motherfucker.
Yes, he is.
We have Janine Kirby tuning in. She's commenting. She's a TBI survivor. She does a lot of work. I was just actually at the Mind Your Brain conference with her
She's
over at
amazing,
Penn
too.
Medicine. She survived just a horrific accident, and she is a traumatic brain injury survivor. And she said, this stuff, a lot of this CBD and stuff, helps with insomnia and all that stuff. Because that's another, when you get these injuries and stuff. I remember when I got my head injury and I went to the hospital, I had broken like just about every bone in my face, both legs, everything, and I still had the medical records. And it's just like basically they said, take these pain pills and
Right.
And
Try not to get addicted.
yeah, and it was liquid pain pills because my jaw's wired shut. And I'm 17 years old. Not like go see this.
Right.
You need some help. You would think there'd be a whole list of all these doctors, but all it was the pain specialist. Go see the pain specialist. And I didn't know what pain pills are, so I take them. No idea. You trust doctors. You did.
Yeah.
I did at least.
When I got diagnosed with the cancer, I mean, it was like, oh, okay, what pain med do you want? And I'm like, what do you mean what pain med do you get your choice? I said, I don't want fucking any of them.
Right.
Like give me a Tylenol, give me an Advil, and I will do.
I'll get a cup of coffee and fuck you.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. But I'll tell you the CBD, the marijuana, it did help me with the management of pain. It helped me with sleep and sleep. I'm a very regimented person before the cancer, and I was in bed 8:30 p.m. because I was up at 5 a.m. And now I go to sleep at 3 a.m. I'm up at 6 a.m. sometimes 10 a.m. I'm my whole sleep is messed up, so it helps definitely with the sleep.
They gave me another thing they gave me when I left because that after my bad accident, when I had my brain injury, they diagnosed me with PTSD. They gave me Ambien when I couldn't sleep. I was having the same problem. They gave me Ambien. I'm 18. I don't know. I'm eating handfuls of them, probably snorting them. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't no good. There's me, fucking eating like 2 Oxy 80, snoring an Ambien, and I didn't graduate high school yet.
Let's go get a beer.
I'm already drinking that,
Right.
and the doctor said it's okay. Not
Right.
the whole drinking.
Yeah,
but,
and you're a big dude, so I can
yeah.
only imagine it's not going to hit you like it's going to hit me. 5 foot, 6 foot.
my
totally
first drug
different.
dealer had DR in front of his name.
Right.
He was a doctor. The first person who gave me drugs was a doctor who told me he was going to help me. He was going to save me.
That's right.
And I believed him, and that was probably the dumbest thing I ever. Well, I've done a lot of dumb shit, but
Well, it's not that you think
You
doctors.
still got a lot of
that
time
they're-
to go.
Brandi, what?
Yeah. Well, you think doctor, you think licensed professional. Like for me, I was on morphine, methadone, Percocet, gabapentin, all maximum doses at 23 for almost a decade. And for me, it was because I was in so much pain. But what they don't tell you is that your body becomes so accustomed to the medication that it creates more pain sensation to justify taking more medication because you become accustomed to that level, right? So a lot of people that are chronic pain patients are usually in far less pain than they realize, but because they've been on their medications for so long, they're really struggling. I know I've heard about CBN as well, and there's actually a veteran nonprofit called Vet Codes. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but David is the owner of it, and what it is it's a group for veterans, and it actually teaches them how to grow legal cannabis, and it also gives them seeds and a lot of information and links and a cheaper rate if they were to buy any of the equipment they were to need through the page. It's fairly new, under 2 years old, but he's actually getting a lot of steam. I did a discussion with Seedsman Genetics, which is a major cannabis grower, especially a seed bank, should I say, and they're out of France. And because of him, I was able to have that experience. But he's very big on promoting the veteran community. So any of my veterans out there that are interested, very much recommend a Vet, VET, Codes, CODES. and check it out. And really, I mean, he gives away seeds every day, literally every day. I have a group for women veterans. We have a licensed therapist that comes on with us who's also veteran. She's not judge. She's possibly the coolest chick of all time. And she comes on, she gives her 2 cents. You know, she's a little wild and feisty like us, but it's nice because you don't feel judged and you can have that sense where you can let your guard down and have people understand you. And also, as far as the sleep, another alternative treatment I talked about is this. So this is called the Alpha Stim. And what it does is,
for anybody just listening on audio, you have what are you holding in your hand? Just describe it for our listeners.
It's an alpha stimulator device. So it looks basically like a pager.
Vibrator.
I'm an alpha stimulator.
That's what we all want to say.
I'll tell you what. I wish you were here, Brandi, because I am just in a room full of dicks, dude.
Just sausage fest. I see it.
Just a room full of dicks, and mine's the biggest of them all. So I don't know.
Batman says otherwise over here.
Sorry, Brandi. Go ahead.
So what this does, it's actually been around since the 70s. It stimulates your meditative waves. So you could have it on for about 20 to 40 minutes. It just clips right to your ears, just like your grandma's clip-ons earrings, right?
Grandma's dead.
Well, I mean, at one point she was alive. I'm sure too. But either way, though. Actually brought this with me to the UFC Hall of Fame, actually.
Thanks, Brandi.
I think you got Tourette's or something.
Right?
What else do you want to bring up?
So this actually helped with insomnia, like what Angela was talking about. It also
how long do you keep it on for? I'm sorry. How long do you keep it on for?
20 to 40 minutes.
So if you're dead or alive?
Donnie, like you're trying to be funny during a time that
wrong time.
Just stop. Like I just all of a sudden you want to be funny.
They need to cut off the mic. They need that button where you cut off the mic or something.
Yeah.
The last dead person I was having to deal with had an intubate. So.
Brandi, I was interested until
we were all listening. It wasn't a time to be funny.
His
but
grandma's
this one,
dead. It's a vibrator.
I mean, yeah.
Like he's funny, man, right?
We're all looking at him like.
I caught 20 to 40 minutes on your ears, and that's pretty much it. Because
so what this does, this is actually something the VA prescribes. So you can actually say, I have severe PTSD, and I would like to be given an alpha stim, and they'll transfer you to polytrauma or someone that prescribes it. If you have your doctor write a prescription, because in the U.S. you have to. Outside of the U.S. you can walk to any pharmacy and buy it. It's like $700, but you rather have it prescribed, right? Ideally, but through the VA it's free if you have severe PTSD or just PTSD as a diagnosis, and it helps immensely. Like it actually I wish I was there. You know why? Because Donnie could not be a dick for the entire podcast because it's a mood enhancer. So literally you cannot be a dick. So it's like a good way to like vet people stuff. Oh well, you can't be a dick after this because they actually.
Why don't they offer that to veterans with PTSD? I don't know. I've never heard of it.
They don't tell anybody. Exactly. That's why I wrote about it. But no one ever fucking reads.
They don't. No, not you. I just met you, kind of, right? Like, but I'm just saying, I've been going to the VA for a fucking minute now, and now I'm just learning about the ear.
Well, probably because we live in the shittiest state ever, New Jersey.
Janine Kirby brings up a great point with this. Janine says you have to advocate for yourself with these doctors. You know,
we
they're
do.
not going to tell you.
Whoa. See, Janine, pump your brakes there, young lady. Advocate for myself. I've been doing it since 1990 motherfucking one.
No. She was referring to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're being
I'll fight a bitch.
So Donnie's just really going downhill today with this. So
Janine, I need you to protect me here.
Random woman that we can't see. Advocate for yourself.
Like, what did you take earlier?
Fuck is the random woman just giving me advice?
No.
I'm kidding,
Janine
woman. I'm kidding.
Write it down. Anyways.
We were doing good until Donnie talked about his dead grandmother.
Yeah, I just.
Well, you'll sleep great though. So if you ever want to try it, or if I ever got to the studio, I will bring it because I usually have it with me in my bag for like an anxiety attack, or if I feel like a panic attack's gonna come on, and I can like head it off, or even if I'm in active crisis, right? And that's the whole point of it, is it stimulates your meditative waves, your deep meditative alpha waves. So what this does, like I said, you'll feel it immediately. And then the first time you have it, you almost feel like you're totally drunk because all your happy waves, are there, and you're so deficient for so long, you don't realize it. But yes, the VA does prescribe this. So even if you're taking medications, you can say, hey, I'd like an alpha stim device, please. And they will send you to someone
device.
to get it.
Okay, I'm going to walk. I'm going tomorrow.
If Amazon has that shit.
I am.
Yeah,
you can
I'm
look
not
it
paying $700. I'm not
Ask
cheap.
your doc too.
I hate my doctor. She hates me. She's allergic to dogs. I bring Batman every time just to be like, fuck you, bitch. Fucking hate her. I try to get out of it, too. Look, there it is, Alpha Stem. Donnie, you paying attention, or are you going to...
Yeah.
You can get it on Amazon.
Looks like a Sony Walkman.
It is on Amazon?
A little bit.
Well, obviously, you don't want to drive and use that, right?
Don't. You feel like a drunk sailor. It's hard even to walk with
Now
it,
your ears
'cause,
is the only place that you put it?
I knew you were going to ask that question.
No, I'm serious.
No, really, I've actually had tattoos that have like very large, studs, and like if they have like a lobe left, and you're like flipping it to the side. But as long as it really connects, it's fine. You have to add like a couple drops of the conducting fluid, and you'll feel it like almost like a prick, or like you'll feel the stimulation on your earlobes, but it's not red. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't give you weird side effects. Once it's done, you don't feel dizzy or like you're walking on a ship or something. And I use it like when I'm like typing at my desk, or like just sitting like somewhere where I know I'm not going to be doing anything.
Can you wear it and go to sleep? Like, what if I fall asleep with it on?
That's fine. It turns off when it's done. So once it's done, it just shuts off.
It's like $100 on Amazon if anybody's looking for them.
Like
We're not doctors, but it's $100. You can get it on Amazon.
$100. $100
Well,
isn't bad.
There's one that's for paint and one that's for what I'm talking about now. So just make sure you're getting the Alpha Stim Aid. So when you're looking for that, just make sure that's the one that you're getting. But for my veterans out there, it is given for veterans with PTSD. So if you do have PTSD, be sure to ask for this, because it is absolutely something that you are entitled to, just like your clothing allowance, which most of y'all don't know about.
You forgot to send me the link to the clothing allowance, just an FYI.
It's not happening at PM.
Oh.
But anyway.
Back to your grandmother.
We got all this stuff. You just don't... Dogs also, though, Mark. Dogs are... You can't get that.
I was getting stressed earlier, and Batman stood up. He started alerting me to calm me down. Now he's back down. I had to punch him in the head to get him down.
Now, do these dogs help people when they get stressed and stuff?
Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
You had mentioned a dog there where a guy... I think Barnett, or your one buddy who has a dog, in the middle of the night, he would wake up and he would find himself in the closet, having flashbacks, fighting the clothes.
Yeah, he's fighting his clothes because he...
And tell us about that dog. He's a veteran who you got a dog for.
Yep, my boy Ron. He's actually starting our South or West Coast Florida wing. We're opening up Paws Healing Heroes right outside of Ocala soon, so keep an eye out. Ron, he's Navy vet. He's got flashbacks. He'll wake up in the closet fighting his clothes because he thinks they're people. Or he's been out back of his house where he thought he saw somebody, and he goes out there with a pipe or something, and it's a lawn chair. He calls the police, and they're just like, all right, Ron, because they're used to it. His dog, Shiloh, if he's sleeping and he's thrashing and he's having it, these dogs, but Shiloh, mainly her job is to climb on top of him in the middle of the night, lick his face, climb on, just get his attention, wake him up to break him out of his funk. Okay. And she does it 100%. Probably the best dog that we've got. She's a Belgian Malinois, so they're just crackheads. Constant energy, insane. And I was like, no, don't get a Malinois, don't get a Malinois. That dog saved his life numerous times.
We've been talking about all this stuff, it all centers around other alternative medicine and stuff. Do you feel, Mark, that these dogs have helped people from not being on as many prescriptions and stuff?
Speaking on my behalf, I would say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing anything for anybody. The dogs aren't saving well, they are saving lives. They're a piece of the puzzle.
They're not like the magic bullet, like you said.
Take your medicine. Go to your counseling. If you've got a dog, it makes you more aware of your surroundings. It makes you engage with people. It makes you get out of your fucking house and go pick up some dog shit. And that might just be the little barrier you needed to break through. Right. Now, as for the medicine, I was on a bunch. Now I'm on a lot less because of CBD. And I'm going to say the dog because, Batman's there for me if I'm freaking out. He'll do the same thing. He's more of a barrier block, lap decompression dog, the same way Shiloh is. And, it's crazy that everybody just doesn't get a dog because they want one. Now, you can go out and buy a dog, but I mean, just through the VA, I think when you get out and you're diagnosed with something, they should have a dog ready for you. Here you go. Because look at the millions of dogs in shelters and all this shit.
It's crazy.
We can, they should let me run it. Hire me for the government. I'll run that whole motherfucker. I won't make sure it's, just like mine. No one gets, there's no extra perks.
Both go into office, and I'll restock all the goddamn shelves, and I'll bring gas down to $3 again. You know what? Fuck it, $2 a gallon.
So
you're not playing with a full deck, are you? You're not wrapped too tight.
Listen,
you-
I have a
she's fucking
fuller
up.
deck than the president.
Mark, you brought up
See where she's
dogs.
going?
You brought up these dogs from these kill shelters. So, Paws Healing Heroes have some of these dogs been saved, their life saved because you took them out of kill shelters, and instead of being, killed or kept in there,
Absolutely.
their lives have saved. That common or?
The Great Gloucester County Animal Shelter down in Clayton, New Jersey. They're a kill shelter. We've gotten a couple dogs out of there. One of the veterans lives in Clayton. His name is Jay. His dog is Kimba, a black shepherd mix. He was a volunteer there. He pulled her out. She was batshit crazy, and we didn't even start training her yet. Like, she ate his blinds, and, like, she should have been in that, not that shelter, but we trained her. Now she's calm. She goes to events with me. She's helped him come out, because when I first met him, he came up, he was really squirrely and mousy, didn't want to make eye contact, and he was saying he needed help without he said he needed help, and he started crying a little bit. Now he's got his dog. He's like, when's the next event, bro? Let's go. Like, I'm like, look at you out of your shell there, tough guy.
So you think some of these dogs, this combination, you
Yeah.
have a dog who is going through something, obviously they get put in a kill shelter. There's some that you had mentioned before, could be just Christmas presents that people didn't really think out, or it could be abused dogs, come from whatever kind of background ones people used to breed or whatever. And
We
they got
give
rid of.
humans second chances. Why don't we
Yes.
give these dogs and just give them a second, give them a job. If they have a job, then they're not pissing on the floor doing it.
We give guys who date second chances when we marry them for the second time or something. Why can't we?
Here
say
we
that?
go,
Oh,
the
man.
man bashing again.
This sounds personal, Brandi.
Insert man basher, where we're talking about saving a dog from a fucking kill shelter.
We're gonna go.
Just because you can't keep a man
We're going
because
off the
you
rack.
beat your men.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
keeping one. It's getting the
That was a
act
very
right part.
personal
Oh.
message, Brandi. Like, are
Right,
you going
like-
through something? Do you want to talk?
With your down low, like subliminal men suck.
Brandi,
we'll
are you
train
going through
them.
something? We
What the
can.
fuck is going
No,
on here?
We could
Just
talk
pointed
hope,
at
but
all
we
of
could
you.
talk love too. Like, that sounds like a
No,
hate-filled
I love
message.
and wanna
You have.
keep all of you.
Are you going through something with like a man that you're in
She
a
is coming
bad
out of the
breakup,
closet, so
or-
whatever.
Oh, God.
No,
Man, God,
stay far away.
You
Think
can't
I'll
even
drive
talk,
crazy
Brandi, without
though.
getting attacked.
This, yeah, we
Oh,
could.
I'm okay with that. I'm used to it.
They had a Relationships 101. They have a show on here on Toxic Radio, which you can follow online,
I say-
toxicradio.net. We could be the relationship
Well,
show.
all jokes aside, I say a broken dog and a broken veteran, two broken pieces make a whole. So
Absolutely.
just, before you go out and go to a breeder, I use breeders sometimes for specific veterans that need help. So everybody that is against breeders,
Because everyone is
fuck
individual.
you. I'm gonna get a bred dog from a breeder, and I'm gonna pull him from the shelters. I'm gonna do what I do. But the shelter dogs seem like they're happier and they help more for some reason, and I could be dead wrong. But every dog that's pulled from the shelter is just happy-go-lucky every time. We've had some ones fail that were a little bit off, and we had to take back, but the majority of the ones stayed, and they're helping.
Now, Mark, I got to ask you, has there ever been cat healing heroes? Do cats heal heroes? Or there's a lot of cats in
I have a cat.
Cats are very independent.
Cats are assholes, but I have a
Yes.
kitten, Bingo.
Would you ever try
She
to train a
sleeps on-
cat? Do people do that? Is that
Nah, because they won't. The litter box thing's a whole issue. Like they can't.
I
be-
hate cats, man. I'm just be honest.
My
I'm just
kitten. We
gonna-
have a kitten,
I hate
Bingo.
cats.
She's under a year old. She sleeps on my neck a lot of times, and just this,
That's soothing.
and you feel it
Yeah.
out like a light.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
cool.
it's like the stimulator you put on your ears.
Yeah, it's very soothing.
It's
So-
like no,
But
they can't. Dogs so much better. I feel like. What do you think,
And
Ames?
cats can tell when
They
you're
make it-
stressed out too,
yes.
because they come up and they want to be
Yeah.
pet and they rub their head up against you, and that's their signal.
Yeah, for training purposes, companion purposes, because very rarely a cat usually is like pet me, I'm gonna bite you, and then I'm gonna
fuck
go
you,
hide
right.
in a,
Look at-
you know.
we got the Michael Vick
I don't
cats
I don't
over
wanna
here,
fucking
Donnie
talk
Hart.
to you anymore.
I thought
They're
Mike,
very independent.
Mike Tyson, he had a cat.
That was a tiger, bro.
What's the difference? Is there really Brandi? Is there a difference between a tiger and a cat?
Did you just ask that question? Yes.
What is a tiger's a cat? Am I right?
It's in the cat family, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But something that can eat your arm off.
Mike
opposed to
Tyson
a-
seems to be doing fine.
like
Seriously,
saying,
the
like,
man
Mike
bit someone's
Tyson
ear off.
would
you ever-
Mike Tyson is
die.
not fine.
Would Alpha and Omega, would they train a tiger, a
They
cat,
would.
the same thing?
I'm gonna say no. I'll ask Ray.
For like a big guy like me, I'm a bigger guy. A dog might not do it for me.
I'm gonna say Batman would heal your ills, brother. He would put your ass in check, and then he would let you know when you're fucked up, and that's half the battle.
So, all right, we're gonna stick to dogs, but pigeons. Maybe that's what Janine said.
See, he's the person that goes on the fucking flight with like the alligator or the peacock,
Right, yeah.
and thinks it's funny and cute.
Yeah.
And he puts a bad name out there
They're
for
the
the
worst
shit that I'm
service
trying to
animals.
do.
That's right.
I'm out there busting my dick every day trying to raise
That's
money.
right.
And they're
And
on
there's funny guy with a
tiger.
service
fucking
cat.
peacock.
With a
yeah.
tiger.
Yeah.
With the tiger in first class on my way to San Antonio.
Fucking
Big scary
unreal.
Mr. Wrestler's got his kitty cat on the
Unreal.
plane just because he doesn't want to put it in a crate underneath.
Sir, it's called a tiger.
Sir, that is not a pussy. That is a full-grown man.
Yeah, exactly, Brandi.
That's right, Brandi.
But anyway,
I volunteered to come here tonight. I was like, sure. Thought it'd be fun.
Regrets it.
come on, Hungry for Hope.
Poor
Fun,
Mark,
they said it would be.
Psycho Lady's the most normal one here.
What?
Which one?
Right. See? Thanks,
more-
Brandi.
You're like a serial killer, Brandy. I'm going to say you're like quiet, deadly. Bring you into the room with the red, and then that's where you kill your man. This one's just batshit crazy.
There are UFC.
You're meeting her at a bar, and she's killing you in the car, where you're taking us home and killing us at home.
I'm already dead, brother.
Don't be afraid to keep stabbing him. Ask him. 3 Hall of Famers.
Gonna strangle me with your tapestry.
I got one good leg.
So long story short, go to pawshealingheroes.org and
Paws
donate.
Healing Heroes.org, brother. Donate, and please, hey, come out to one of my events and check out the dogs. We have the petable service dogs. Not every dog is petable. It's my disability. It's my dog. Everybody can pet my dog. Just ask permission because he might be in a bad mood. And a lot of the veterans are being helped, all jokes aside, with talking to people in public while they're petting their dog because it takes their mind off of everything they've ever done bad, negative in their life because they're talking about a dog, and it's helping. So.
Mark, now I see a veteran out with a dog, with a service dog. It has a vest on or whatever. Do I pet that dog? Do I ask?
Always ask.
Always
because you
ask.
never know. Would you
See Mark now?
out in the
Sorry.
parking lot when Batman just ran up to you because he knows you? But if you didn't know him, you'd be scared, right? I'm not going to just go up and pet a 110-pound German Shepherd or a tiger. So, you know what I mean? Always ask because every veteran and every dog is different. And you don't know what the guy's going through. Like when you have your bad days and you just want to punch someone's fucking face out and smash their face into the ground. Don't say that in the VA because they'll keep you for 4 days. But you never know what they're going through that day. Just always, hey, do you mind if I pet your dog? And, thank you for your service. And
It should be a golden rule for any animal. I mean, you just don't walk up to a stranger and say, "Hey, let me pet your dog."
didn't our last
You
president
have
just
to.
go and grab him by the pee? Didn't they do that?
That was a cat. So
So-
that's Donnie's.
So if-
you don't even see nothing. Like,
so
why is
if
it
I-
right for the dog to come out and then-
Here we go.
why
If
is
I
it-
do want to pet a dog, I can go to the Pittman Craft Show
Yeah.
Saturday,
This Saturday.
noon to 3 p.m.
No. 9 a.m. they start. Well, they want us to line up and set up
Oh,
at
my
6.
buddy's doing the thing from
This
noon to
Saturday?
3 p.m. over at
This
Lenny's
Saturday.
and Susie's.
We'll be out there probably with like 6 dogs. There'll be some puppies. Pet the dogs. Buy a T-shirt. Laugh. I'm gonna throw.
So
shit
you
at
go.
them.
You'll be there from 9 on. 12 is Lenny and Susie Sports Memorabilia. They're having another sports podcast out there. They're having some people. They're doing some giveaways, Eagles jerseys and stuff. They're
fun.
great people. They can't wait to see your dogs. Lenny's an awesome guy. I just went and got a Mike Smith jersey off him today, man. He sells jerseys, everything right there on 2nd Street off of like 50 feet from the main drag in Pittman.
Do you want me to bring my golf outing information to him so he can donate?
Yeah, Lenny's always down to donate signed jerseys. He has the Eagles jersey he's doing a raffle for. He does a lot of donations and stuff. He'll do there's him up there if anybody's watching.
I'll pay for his stuff just to sell it at a golf outing.
Oh,
I
his
don't
stuff.
need him to donate.
That's the first thing he said to me today. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about some stuff we're doing. It's like, Don, you ever need anybody? Any of these nonprofits? You need somebody. Lenny's like, let me know. I would love to donate.
He comes
some
out.
signed
Well, he
jerseys.
come out to an event and have all of his stuff up there for people to purchase at, like I said, golf event. So I don't have to go around beg baskets.
Yes, absolutely.
Have him show up with all his stuff. I was going to say shit, all his stuff, and then let people bid on that so I don't have to go around, hi, can I have a basket of lotion, please? Or can I have an alcohol basket? I need a... Brandy, will you send me your ear stimulator so I can... Will you send me your ear stimulator so I can auction that off at my golf outing?
So I can't send it to you because I had my extra, but I fought a hooker for it back so I could give it to a veteran.
Hooker?
So they didn't put me the 22.
We've all been there, Brandy. We all been there.
No, we have not all been there.
No, her daughter had severe PTSD, so I let her use I had an extra, and so she moved
So you
away,
are
and
gay.
then what? No, like I'm picky.
You guys
but
were all
no,
hooked up
like,
on your stimulators.
What kind of weird stuff do you think I do on OnlyFans? No. No, really, what happened was, like, I had a
www.onlyfans.com. Anybody
There we go.
tuning
See?
in?
So I'm
I
trying to
thought
drop
they
the
shut
plug
that
for
down.
you. Trying to drop the plug for you,
Well,
Brandi.
it's
See
back
where I'm
up, I
going?
think. Yeah,
What?
if I did though, couldn't you imagine like what I make in the scar porn alone? Dang. Anyways, that'd be good.
You have a scar?
Anyway.
Multiple?
Oh, that's right.
So,
That's right.
so we have the Pittman Craft Show this week. We also have on June 5th. Help me here, Ange. June.
Are you talking about my fundraiser?
11th?
Don't you dare
9th?
forget this date. I will punch you right in the fucking face.
Help
on
me,
that.
Ange.
June 11th.
June
11th is Ride for Ange. You don't have to have a motorcycle to ride. Just show up.
Yay.
Looking forward to seeing everyone. T-shirts, baskets.
Where's it start?
It's VFW and Maple Shade.
Where's it end?
It's only going to be like a 15-minute ride. So everything's going to be right at the VF post.
Oh, look at that.
So there it is, June 11th. And then July 24th, we're over.
It's my birthday.
July 24th, your birthday. It's also over at Crestwood Golf Club. We got an event.
July 24th is at Centerton Golf Course.
Centerton.
Golf outing.
I just
And
made up
we
golf
have-
courses. I'm
I
not a
know.
golfer, as you can
just made
tell.
that shit. I probably have
The
about
only thing I ever had at a
five.
golf club was a guy.
I probably have about 5 foursomes left. That's it, because I'm a hot ticket, so you got to get on my shit early or you're out. But you can more than happy donate, because the donations, I put banners all over the golf course. I just don't do those little dinky signs. You give me some serious cash. Your name is everywhere. I'm announcing you while I'm handing out the baskets I got to go collect from everybody. Or I'll let the memorabilia guy hand out his shit.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Right. So, yeah, and August 7th, and the Park Bank in Sewell. You should do a live podcast August 7th at the Park Bank in Sewell.
I know they help you with tons of stuff, man. Their owner's an awesome guy. He donates all the time.
Vito.
Vito
Pantaleone. So he's Vito Underwear.
Hey, sounds like
Italian.
my kind of man.
Yeah, they're just amazing, the Park Bank. And everybody who donates to me. I can't give them all shout-outs because we'll be here for 2 more hours. But
well, anybody, they can follow more about all these events on pawshealingheroes.org or on your Facebook.
Facebook is the
And now,
way to go.
Brandi, tell us if anybody wants to follow your podcast. You have a bunch of veterans on. You do awesome stuff. Tell us where they can follow that and all that stuff again.
Sure. So we have a Instagram and a Facebook page, the Yes I Am the Veteran podcast. Because we are now with Veteran Trash Talk, we are on most major platforms as of this week, as I understand. And the episode that we taped earlier today will be viewable at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if anyone wants to check that out, they just go to Veteran Trash Talk or to the Yes I'm the Veteran podcast. And we will be having some people coming on soon that I think the veteran community might want to see. We're going to have a neurologist come on. Speaking of, the next time you guys go to Penn State, go to see the head of the neurology medical admissions committee. His name is Dr. Wickland, and tell him that Senior Matoris sends her regards. He knows me quite well, and he retired me, and he now is one of the heads of the neurology program out there. So I wish I was closer, otherwise I'd be going there with y'all.
Yes, but for anybody who is tuning into this episode today, just the one point I want to come across, man, there's these veterans who have gave the ultimate sacrifice. They're willing to give the ultimate sacrifice. Some of these people, 18, just people willing to do whatever for our country, and they suffer. You can't see all their wounds. Some of them came back here, a shell of their self. They have PTSD problems, other problems, disabilities. They need our help. They need our support. And unfortunately, they can't always get that from the VA and from doctors. Sometimes we just need to be there for the support. We need to pick them up. We need to show these people who are heroes that we care. We got to look out for our veterans.
More awareness, 100%.
And you can do this by supporting groups like Paws Healing Heroes, by following Brandi and the stuff she does and her podcast. So I just want to stress all that. And Angela, you want to get us out of here? What do you want to get us out of here with?
What would you like to? I mean, you kind of threw me off track here.
You weren't ready there, Crazy?
I
You got like 10
mean,
people fucking talking in your head. You should have something lined up.
We got 1 minute. We just want to thank Brandi for coming on.
Yes.
thank you, Brandi. The episode that me and Mark were on your podcast today, that will be out tomorrow.
8 a.m., correct, Brandi?
Yes, I am the veteran. 9 a.m. our time.
Right, no one's awake.
And Paws Healing Heroes.net. Mark, want to thank you again. Everybody, please go out and see Mark. He'll be there 9 a.m. in Pittman at the craft show. It's downtown Pittman. Go over, stop over, see our friends at Milkweed. Go see Lenny. Go see all them amazing people. I just ate at Mama Marie's today. Great hoagies. I love downtown Pittman. Check it out. Hungry for Hope Nation. Oh, great sandwich. Great people. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hungry for Hope Nation. We will see you next week. We are out of here.